Good morning, welcome back to week 22 of BTHQ Banter. I had a hay fever-free week last week, which was fantastic, but today we're overcast, we're windy, and I think rain's on the way, and sure enough, back to blech. Anyway, by the by, just before we went into lockdown, the lovely people at BT sent me a new hub for my internet, along with a newfangled gadget called a cloud phone. I didn't set it up right away, and it now materialises that actually I haven't had a phone line for the last 7 weeks. But who knew? Not me. Anyone who's tried to ring the studio has just been getting a dead tone apparently, and that's because I haven't plugged in my new cloud phone, and I need to. So today is a day where I have no children and I have no online classes, which means I can be without the internet for a short while. So I'm going to take that opportunity to try and get technological and plug in my hub and my phone. It could go horribly wrong. I'm not particularly tech savvy. Let's see. So I spent the last hour on the phone to BT. I plugged in the hub, that works fine. Plugged in the cloud phone, that works. You can ring me. But it's the most ridiculous system. The idea is that when I don't answer the phone here, it will go through to my mobile if I want it to. But if I don't want it to, which I don't want it to all the time, at the end of the day, when I'm closed, I'm closed. I want people to be able to leave a message. And there used to be, and I had, an answer machine, just a normal answer machine, which would say when you rang, I'm sorry, we're closed, or we might be teaching and we can't answer the phone. Please leave a message and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. That's all we need, right? I can't leave a personalised greeting on the cloud phone. What I can do is let it ring through to my mobile, and then if I choose not to answer it on my mobile, I can change my personal mobile number to an answer machine message and they can leave a message. How silly. I'm potentially going to lose customers because they're not going to let the phone ring and ring and ring and ring and ring and ring and ring until it gets through to that point. Or there's going to be times when I can't answer the phone. Oh, hang on a minute. I can have the answer machine function if I pay even more for it. I don't want to pay for a phone line. I just want to use my phones that I've always been able to use. But apparently in 6 months' time, the normal phones and normal phone lines are going to be wiped out and we will only be able to use cloud phones. That's according to BT. So, one very unhappy customer here, BT. Anyway, what we're now going to have a go at, more technology, is to try out the new Facebook Rooms function. It's a bit like Zoom, and from what I can understand, Facebook are basically trying to keep you on their platform so that you don't go off to other platforms. So I'm going to have a go with it now. I'm just going to open up a room in our free Facebook group, see who jumps in, just have a little quick go and see what's what.
You're not as good as Joe.
No, I was trying to record at the same time.
I'm not going to do it if you're recording. What else is here?
That's Elspeth.
Oh,
Say hello, Elspeth. Say hello to BTHQ Banter.
Oh, hello, BTHQ Banter. I think I've turned into a mouse with glasses.
Oh, God! Elspeth won! So what you saw there was quite good fun. Turns out in Facebook Rooms you can play games. So Joe and I played a hamburger eating challenge, and then Elspeth and I played Splash, which is fantastic. That's something I think I have seen my I've seen my niece play it with my daughter, so yeah, that was good fun. So we had a go of that. I think I might test it out for Craft Club next week because Zoom is a little bit glitchy at times, so we'll see if it works. It is now 12:30 and I haven't even done anything other than all this ridiculous BT and technology stuff. It's really very annoying, so I'm going to have a quick tidy up and then try and finish my Sylvie dress. Sat down at the sewing machine, not in the mood. Too much playing on my mind at the moment. Hang on a minute. Alexa, stop. Radio was playing. I haven't got any machines here at the moment, as you would have seen if you watched last week, but they are coming in the middle of June. I don't know what I am as a business. I'm not a retailer. I'm not a cafe. I'm not a restaurant. I'm not a pub. I'm an educational establishment, but for fun. When can I reopen? Safely, obviously, but when? I don't know. I'm going to see whether I fall under that 1st of June category if it comes out, when it comes out. And I need to be prepared for that, whilst I am personally not prepared to open until we can do so 100% safely, and the environment will be of a place that people will want to come to and they can enjoy. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm not rushing into anything. But potentially there could be some leeway for maybe towards the end of June for me to just start to get some of those people in to play catch up on some of the bookings that we've had to postpone. Some of the more one-to-one stuff and the small groups. So what I'm going to do is have a little move around of some of the tables. I couldn't sleep last night and it was playing on my mind, and I was trying to think how I could create pods for people to work in that were like they're doing at the schools, I suppose, but where they could work but they wouldn't feel that they were kind of hemmed in, that they could still be part of a group and part of a community. So I'm going to have a little move around of the furniture and just see if I can create 3 safe pods that are 2 meters apart from one another. And if I can do that, then potentially there is a bit of leeway for me to be able to start to let people come back in, utilising social distancing measures, should they wish to, and to allow me to catch up on some of my backdated courses and classes that I was teaching on a one-to-one basis. I think I'd just like to know that I've got a bit of a plan of action, so to speak. Even if I decide not to go ahead with it, I know that I can just put it back to the way it was. So yeah, cue furniture moving. So it's not brilliant and it's only just 2 meters apart, but we can have 3 stations. I've put the big round table up high and tucked it over the end there. So there's a cutting table right by the door. I can move the printer to a different location, but when the sewing machines come, the sewing machine can go there, or it can go there. To be fair, they're still pretty far away from people if they're there. Then you've got your second station here for cutting station. The idea being where these boxes are currently, that's where the sewing machine would be. So you'd be sewing here and then you'd stand up to cut out. You're 2 meters away from your person, your friend or colleague, your sewing pupil over there. And then the third station is here, and again the sewing machine would go there. You'd be able to stand behind your table to cut. You are 2 meters away from the person in front of you, but again you're always facing each other's backs, so you're never face to face with one another, which obviously is helpful. When you are at your machine, I mean, that is 2 meters, but only just. But again, you're all facing the walls, you're not facing each other. And it would be just as it is with every sewing class, that you'd be sharing the ironing area. But when you're at the ironing area, you're 2 meters away from everybody else. So it's not amazingly fun, but it's workable. And I think for early days, when we can open and just get 1 or 2 people in catching up with classes, then it will work. And obviously it will look better once I've put the hoover around, got rid of my own personal rubbish that's lying around, and the machines are in place too. But now I need to do something about Unit 2. Well, I haven't done much to it, but I have sewn the skirt together, at least sewn the pockets on, and that's ready to be gathered and attached to the bodice, which I will probably try and do tomorrow. But I lost my sojo today, so I'm pleased with what I did get done. I've tidied up in here, which is great. So we're all ready for tomorrow's class. Had a good clear up, put the computer away, and it's at least looking a little bit more normal. So with regards to a sewing class, it would be really easy to socially distance in here. I would probably still just only have 2 people, even though there's a really big space. These tables do go up higher, so we can make one a cutting table, one a sewing table, and then someone can use my area as well, which leaves this whole central pathway clear, which is good because it is one of the ways to the loo, and also in the summer obviously we could have that door open there. So yeah, it's doable. I don't like it, it's not as cozy, but it is doable. So we'll just have to wait and see when we're allowed. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm not rushing to reopen. I want everyone to be able to come back here when they feel safe to do so, and when they'll actually enjoy it. So even if I am allowed to open as of the 1st of June, I'm not going to be. I think I'll probably be aiming for end of June, beginning of July, if I can, just for very small groups, the one-to-one stuff, and trying to catch up some of my postponed classes. But I think for long classes, I don't see that happening probably before August or even September, possibly later. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously watch BTHQ Banter next week and the week after and see what happens. But anyway, we can't do anything until our new sewing machines arrive, and they're not coming until the middle of June. So I'm done for the day. I'm teaching tomorrow. We've got reading cushions tomorrow, but not until the afternoon. I'm set up to go, good to go. So if I decide to stay in bed and have a lazy morning, I can do. Otherwise I can come in the morning and crack on with my dress and then teach in the afternoon. I'm off to do a spot of shopping for Elspeth, and then I'm going to go and sit on her front porch and have a G&T. I will see you later. Bye. You join me from my deck chair in the sunshine on a certain someone's porch. In a moment, they shall bring me a beverage. Ah, here comes the barman.
I don't know whether it's going to be strong enough or not.
I don't need a strong one, I've got to drive.
Well, that's it. Maybe I'll leave that there. I'm going to go and put some in my... Are we BTHQ?
We are!
Just when my stomach is showing.
And just when your skirt's gonna blow. Do a Marilyn. Good afternoon, it's Saturday. I did have a little lie-in this morning, not gonna lie. But Mr. Mac wanted to go to the supermarket and I didn't want him taking the kids. So I stayed home with them while he went to the supermarket and then came in for lunchtime. But I have almost finished my dress. I've added the skirt now, I've put the zip in the back, and all I need to do is bind the neckline, armholes and hem it. This particular pattern has a binding strip for the armholes and the neckline. I'm not going to use that. Actually the last one I made, I think I did a lined bodice, but I realised it was going to be too hot if I did that, because this cotton poplin is actually quite thick and starchy. But I'm just going to bind it with some black satin binding, just like I do the Eve dress, just take it to the inside. I've never done that before with a dress, other than obviously the Eve dress, so I thought it would be a nice chance to have a little practice, and it will make it a nice lightweight summer dress. So I'm going to finish that off today, but first things first, I've got a class to teach, and I'm teaching the reading book cushion today, and I've had a bit of a change of my setup. Let me show you. I've actually decided to have a go at using my overhead rig, which I normally put a proper camera on, to shoot my instructional videos. I don't know how well it's going to work, because to get it up and down from here is a little bit fiddly, and if I do need to show anyone some detailed sewing, which I don't think I will do with this one, it will mean taking it down from the rig and then putting it back up again, but we'll see how we go. All of the people that I've got on this class have done sewing before. Lots of them have done Zoom classes with me before and are members of my sewing club as well, so I can tell them what to do and they will know how to do it, so I won't necessarily have to show any detailed sewing machine stuff. It will only be if someone's sewing machine decides to play up that I might need to get in there with a camera, but then I suppose worst case scenario I could join from my own phone as well, because the phone that I use for Zoom close-ups is just an old phone that I've got that I don't actually use to make phone calls with. So I'm waffling, sorry. Right, I'm going to teach. I need to log on. They'll be with me in about 3 minutes. I'll join you again afterwards, and obviously during the class if I remember to show you their finished cushions. So we're all done. Let's have a look at Elsa's first, if I spotlight you. Oh, that's alright. That's gorgeous. I love that fabric. It's really cute. Let's have a look at Liz's. Let's spotlight you. Very nice, Liz. Oh, bunny rabbits and hedgehogs.
Yeah.
Nice copy of Prima in there. Lovely jubbly. Let's have a look. Catherine, can we pop your video back on? Here we go. Let's look at Catherine Williams and move it over for me. Oh, well, and look. Oh. Somebody has already appliqued their pocket. So that's another thing that you can do. You can put names on them, which is great. So that looks amazing. Well done. Let's have a look at Kate's. There's Kate's. Oh, lovely. Very nice. You've used all the same fabric, which is nice. Just gives you a smarter look. Brilliant.
Lining.
Ooh, very nice. Let's have a look at yours, Mandy.
Oh, my foot fell down.
Excellent. Oh, that's lovely. Well done. Did you enjoy that, everyone?
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. Busy, busy class. I have finished my dress. It's here, ready to go home. I did the binding around the neck hole and the arms. I'm not amazingly pleased with my efforts. It's a little bit shoddy, but it's okay. But I have played with my Cricut. It's been a long while. I put a funny little phrase, wild woman, in a glittery iron on. Just thought it'd be a bit of fun on the pockets, really. We had a visit from the lovely Annie from the greenhouse in Brentwood. I don't know if you remember Freddie and Phineas, my two ferns. Well, Freddie was in a macrame hanger, but he wasn't very happy in there because his leaves were getting a bit damaged. So I decided to buy them both a friend who wouldn't mind being in a macrame hanger, and Annie very kindly dropped him off for me. So I'm going to introduce you to Ronnie. This is Ronnie. He is a ripsalis plant. So he's not a succulent, but he kind of is a little bit succulent-y. And he will grow big and long. So I popped him into one of my little fabric boxes to hang in the macrame hanger, and I think he looks quite cute in there. So he is a new addition to the team. And that's that, really. Oh, exciting news. I have had a phone call from my landlord today. I had asked him on a complete whim. I suddenly thought, oh, if we can't have craft club indoors, maybe we can have craft club outdoors. Not just now, obviously, but when we are allowed to kind of get back together again in larger circles, larger groups, but potentially outside. And he has given me permission to erect a party tent or a large gazebo stroke mini marquee thing out in the car park, which means we could be undercover but outside in the fresh air, and if need be we could put the sides onto the gazebo if it was rainy. So yeah, it's a potential, just a potential, just something I'm looking at. I'm not saying I'm necessarily going to do it, but it does mean when we are up and running again, if we've got classes in the studio, I can use unit 1 and 2 for a sewing class, for instance, just have 3 people in each, but that people could still come together where they'd normally use the lounge. Obviously they can't be squished up in there, but they could potentially be in an outside space, undercover and protected from the elements, for the summer months anyway, but we shall see. It's another one of my rambling ideas. We don't know what we're doing from day 1 to day 2 at the moment, do we? So I'm going to go home. It's Saturday night. It is actually 5 to 6, which is quite late for me to be going home on a Saturday, but I've got a day off tomorrow, and I'm going to only come in on Monday and Tuesday if I've got orders to package. Otherwise I'll see you again on Wednesday. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and have I got a lot of jobs to do today. If you were to come in here now, you would think this was absolute chaos, but I am sorted. First step is to cut and pack everybody's orders that they placed over the weekend. So I've got lots and lots of packaging to do, and then I've brought loads of stuff in from home because I have a really big declutter at home and a sort out. So I've got loads of stuff to put away. So all of these bags and boxes are full of stuff that needs to go away. All of this needs to go away. I've got a parcel from Amazon, which I'm very excited about. I've got all the clean washing up that Mum very kindly has done for me to go away, and she's also been really busy sorting out all of my zip box. I took that to her house and she sorted all the zips into sizes for me. And look, the raggy bag has come back. This is the one that Elspeth has very kindly sewn up for me. Mum's then washed it and tumble dried it to make it all go fluffy, and it's really cool. So this is my sample. If you want to do this class with me, then you can. It's a Zoom class and you can come along and do it on, I think it's the 6th of June off the top of my head. So yes, crazy messy studio. Oh, and the other thing, I've got all these bags here, all these big recycling bags are full of beautiful remnants of fabric, and I'm going to be having a remnant sale really soon. The government has said that retail can open as of the 15th of June. So what I'm planning on doing is opening up the front of Unit 1 as a shop, and everything can be behind counters, but you'll be able to come in and make a purchase. So I'm going to put all of the remnants out and have a remnant sale. We've also got lots of tools and equipment and bits and bobs that I'd kind of like to get rid of. So you can think of us as a kind of charity craft shop, because quite a lot of it will be for donations to charity, but while you're here I can also cut you fabric and you can pick bits and bobs up. So I thought that's a good way of kind of at least being able to see a few human beings, and just opening up the front section of Unit 1, which we can do so safely at a distance. So yeah, lots of prep, lots of planning, lots of sorting to do today. Not sure quite how much I'll show you because you don't really need to see me tidying up. So I'll check in with you again later on today. Call me sad, but I'm a little bit excited about this. I've just bought myself a new surge protector tower, which I can plug into the wall so that when I'm doing ironing and things as part of my videos, I can use this. I can also put the Cricut into it, I can put the heat press into it, and it's got a surge protector on it because I managed to blow the power in here the other day by overloading an extension cable. But the best bit is it's got one of these little bits at the top, and you can put your phone on and it will charge your phone for you without having to plug it in. So this is going to be really handy as well if people come to classes and their phone starts to run out. They can charge their phone, or there's USB ports in the side here as well, and I've got all the different cables so that you can charge your phone. So I thought this would be quite a handy little gadget to have. Okie dokie, well that's been an eventful day. Lots of people come by and pick up packages. We saw the lovely Carol, Maddie, which was great. Astrid popped along with her sewing machine, also nothing wrong with it, and they're all just being pickles, these machines at the moment, but she popped it on my doorstep, had a quick look. It's all fine. She's gone away happy again, which is great. Obviously didn't catch any of that on camera, but I have had a really big sort out of all of that lovely vintage fabric, and what I've decided to do is actually have a vintage fabric charity sale on Friday morning here at BTHQ, obviously outside, not in here. So it's crazy. Normally I would just say come on in, you know, come and pick it up, you know, pop some money in the charity pot, but I've had to think about, you know, how we can do it, where we can queue, how we can safely keep apart, hand sanitizer, where people can park, and all the rest of it. So I'll show you what I've done, but I've got myself all organised and ready to go for Friday morning because obviously I'm not here tomorrow. So I've made a lovely big sign which gives you the rules and the instructions, and that will go outside on a chair. And then I've boxed everything up, so there's so much lovely stuff, all these lovely trims. So I've had a good sort through and boxed them all up. I have written a sign to say, you know, if you want some of the trim but you don't want all of it, you can cut yourself off a metre. And then I've sorted all the lovely fabrics. They're all in gorgeous bundles and we know exactly how much there is of all of them. There's some lovely things here, just some random odds and ends. These are all like vintage knits. Trust me, I have kept quite a bit of it for myself, but these are all bits that I don't think I will use. So these are all going to go outside on a table and people can just come and help themselves. I've also set up a little area here, kind of like a shop front, so to speak, because people will be able to come to the doorway here to make their payment. I'm going to put a little table here so no one can come in, but they can make their payment here from a distance. But they'll be able to see, you know, some of the fabrics that we've got at the moment, and if they want them, I can cut them for them and get them prepared. So no one is coming in here at all. This is obviously all going outside, but this does kind of show you, if I was to open up as a shop for a couple of months, this would kind of be the shop area where people could come in sort of one at a time and leave me in the background there, nice and safe and tucked away from everybody. So it does sort of have I think it's got potential to fly for a few weeks anyway. That's another week at BTHQ over and done with. I can't even remember what classes I've shown you now. Did I even show you any classes this week? Yeah, I must have done. So we had a class at the weekend, didn't we? What did we make? Reading book cushions. That's it. One day is blurring into the next. It's ridiculous. I cannot believe that we've now been in lockdown, I think for 9 weeks. Or is it even 10 weeks possibly? Who knows? Anyway, hopefully we'll hear later on from Boris, and we'll find out how he plans to lift things a little bit further over the coming weeks. But we'll see. We're no closer to classes, that's for sure. But we might at least be able to see some people and some humans here, which would be quite nice. So I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.